Hey, it's Acoustic Paint. I'm Elizabeth, and today I'm going to be giving you the Inktober 2018 tour. So, I successfully completed Inktober for this year. It was my first time ever doing Inktober, and it was a lot of fun. So today I thought I would just go through all the illustrations I made. Some illustrations I did speed drawings for. I'll probably link those in the card when I get to those illustrations, and some I just did on my own. I actually showed all of these on my blog, acousticpaint.wordpress.com, if you want to check that out. For those of you who haven't seen the blog posts on all of my Inktober illustrations, that's what this video is for, just for me to go through and give you guys a quick tour. So, let's get started. Okay, so to start right off, we have day 1, and then I've got day 2 in my hand, and day 3. So, day 1 is Poisonous. Pretty self-explanatory. I just drew some bottles filled with poison. They don't really have anything marking them as being filled with some sort of poison, so they really could be bottles of anything. I had a lot of fun just adding the details and stuff. I had a problem with proportion. I kind of wanted this one to be taller and a little bit bigger, but it's okay. I like how there's like a thing around the neck of the bottle, and I like how the bubbles look. Then here we have day 2, which is Tranquil. I used some Japanese wood ash inks for this one, and I did a process video. You can click the card if you want to check that out. The inks behaved a lot like watercolor, and watercolor really isn't a medium that I have used a lot. So it was definitely a challenge, but it was a fun challenge, and I really hope to be able to use the Japanese watercolor again. So. Day 3, the prompt was roasted. A lot of people did roasted marshmallows or roasted chickens or roasted coffee. And this was before I really, went on social media just to check out what other people had done, like the Inktober 2018 hashtag. And so the only thing I could think of was a lit match. And you'll see kind of in the early stages of Inktober for me, fire and smoke and candles are really a big theme. Inktober day 4, the prompt was spell. I'm sure you Harry Potter fans out there know exactly what this is referencing. I wanted to do something Harry Potter themed, so I drew Harry's Patronus, which is a stag, and I outlined the stag in different shades of blues. You can see the body's kind of a darker blue and the horns are a lighter blue. I wanted to write Expecto Patronum kind of up here, but I thought that would be a little too heavy-handed with the prompt. This is one that I spent a lot of time on. The prompt was chicken, and I took it very literally and drew a rooster because roosters just have such pretty feathers and plumage that I just really, really wanted to get my alcohol-based markers out and color one. And here's day 6 where the prompt was drooling. I had a lot of fun with this. I initially was gonna draw like a drooling animal, like a dog or something, with just saliva coming out of its mouth. But then I decided, hey, caves have stalactites, and those kind of look like saliva or drool kind of dripping down. So yeah, I drew that, and I really like how it turned out. It was a lot of fun. And here's day 7, wrapping up the first week of Inktober. The prompt was exhausted, and I decided to do 2 candles. Similarly to my first day of Inktober with the 2 bottles of poison, I wanted to make this one look a little bit bigger than this one, but I had problems with the proportion. That's something I definitely need to practice. They're extinguished candles, so they've been exhausted. And then I drew just kind of the smoke that comes off of candles. Obviously, not that much smoke comes off of an extinguished candle, but, Here we have day 8 and day 9. I'm covering up another day of Inktober right now. It's a later day, and we'll get to it in a minute. But here I did a bunny for day 8, where the prompt was star, and I did a little baby fawn, because, what's more precious than a baby fawn? They are so cute. Here's day 10, flowing. I just kind of wanted to do something water themed, so I did a mermaid, kind of, not really. I don't know. For day 11, I decided to take another kind of philosophical approach, I guess. to the Inktober prompt, and I decided to draw a clock because time is cruel. And initially I had drawn a wolf, like a snarling wolf you can see here, but wolves aren't very cruel animals, I guess, so I decided not to go with that one as my final piece for that day. And this was before I realized that clock was an actual prompt in Inktober, so I had to draw something different for clock, but you'll see that in a minute. The prompt for day 12 was whale, and again I took it pretty literally and drew a humpback whale. And for day 13, down here, this is what I was covering up earlier, I drew an armadillo. So I decided to draw kind of a grayscale armadillo because they have armor and are guarded. And I did blending with Winsor Newton markers, and I really like how the blending turned out. I think it looked pretty good. Here's the prompt that I was telling you about, clock. So obviously I had already drawn a clock for the prompt cruel. So I decided to draw a different version of a clock. This is one of those sand timers. And I guess that's not technically a clock, but it does tell time and it does keep track of time, so I thought it was appropriate. Day 15, the prompt was week. It's kind of hard to tell, like, hey Elizabeth, why did you draw 2 jack-o'-lanterns for the prompt week? Well, I think I explained this in my process video. I wanted to draw like a rotting jack-o'-lantern. Obviously it didn't turn out the way I wanted, but I still really like how the pumpkins, they just look really cute. Is day 16, where the prompt was angular. Hawks are pretty, like their faces are pretty angular already, so I just decided to draw a hawk. I did a process video on day 17 where the prompt was swollen. I wanted to do a toad because toads are more associated with witches and stuff than like a blowfish. Although it would be cool to see like a witch, like a blowfish themed witch. Maybe I'll draw that sometime. Day 18, bottle. It's a pretty quick illustration. I don't know if you can tell, it's a message in a bottle kind of wedged in the sand. This is supposed to be the ocean. It was really late, like I guess not super late, but probably like 12 at night, and I just wanted to go to bed and I hadn't done the illustration for the day, so I was just like, prompts bottle, I'm gonna draw a bottle on a beach really quick, just one tone, let's do this. And this is what I got. However, I definitely didn't skimp on the details for day 19. The prompt was scorched, and I decided to draw a single stalk of wheat. And here we have day 20. The prompt is breakable, so I decided to draw a broken light bulb. And here I feel like every artist has drawn something like this at some point in their career. I drew an eye, a crying eye, because I was feeling really down on day 21, not about Inktober, just like about life. I was just, you know how you just kind of feel off? It's not anything particular, it's just like, man, I'm feeling sad. So, I put on some sad Broadway music and drew a crying eye because that's how I was feeling. I was still on the Broadway kick. I decided to draw something very expensive. Tickets to Broadway shows. Day 23, the prompt was muddy. As you can see, I've drawn a couple of illustrations. This is my official illustration for Inktober, and this was just a second one I did just to see if I wanted to do it. Next page has a little bit of theme to it. I'm sure you can see green is a theme that just kind of connects the two illustrations together. We have for day 24, the prompt was chop. And down here for day 25, we have the word prickly, and it's a little porcupine eating some leaves. And here we have day 26 of stretch and day 27 of thunder. Day 26 came super easy. I just drew a giraffe, and I added the clouds because I was watching the YouTube video and I finished this drawing and the YouTube video wasn't over, and I was like, well, I need something to do and I don't want to start a whole new illustration. What should I add? And I decided to add a bunch of clouds. Day 27, I definitely wanted to do something with a horse. And here we have day 28 where the prompt was gift. Again, I drew a little dog.
Day 29, the prompt was double. As you can see here, I played around with the idea of drawing a two-headed snake. And then that got me thinking about conjoined twins. And then that got me thinking about Siamese twins, which got me thinking about cats.
Which led to my ultimate illustration of the two cats. But yeah, it was kind of a long and complicated thought process that really wasn't that hard. Not complicated. Not complicated at all. But prompt was super, super easy for me because I had this reference saved on my phone for so many months and I finally got to draw it. It's of a startled little jackrabbit. And here we have the final day of Inktober and what must have been the most time-consuming illustration for me to draw. Day 31, the prompt was slice. We have kind of this optical illusion of 3 cut-up kiwi pieces in the shape of a triangle. I did this piece on the back of this page so I couldn't use my alcohol-based markers without them bleeding. And then I thought, hey, I have the Zig scrapbooking markers that don't bleed through the paper. So I decided to try and use these. However, what's really strange about these is that the end, the 0.5 millimeter end right here, has a lighter pigment than the 1.2 millimeter. I had to use the 0.5 millimeter to get each individual line on here because otherwise the color would have been too dark. It took me just like an hour and a half just to color these 3 because the marker kept drying out. I had to keep putting the lid on and putting it to the side and letting it recharge basically because it kept running out of ink, and I love the final result, but the process was frustrating and long and So overall, I had so much fun doing the Inktober challenge for 2018. I'm definitely going to be doing it next year. In fact, I like it so much that I'm probably going to go back and do the 2017 and 2016 Inktober's because I haven't gotten to do those. I didn't do them the last couple of years. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Click that subscribe button so you never miss another video like this one. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted every time we post a new video. Comment down below which Inktober illustration was your favorite. I personally think the rooster is my favorite. It was so colorful and so pretty. I loved making it. It was so much fun. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching and have a fabulous day. Bye!